Today is a very special day, because today I get to review an album that I have been waiting for all year long. Trivium's Vengeance Falls is finally here. I'm Chainsaw, this is my review of this album. I will have to mention though, I'm doing a collaborative review with other reviewers, so check the description for links to other reviews of this same album from other reviewers. The links will be posted as soon as they upload the reviews. So anyways guys, let's continue on with talking about Vengeance Falls from Trivium. I have been waiting for this album for so long, like I mentioned, and when I heard the first track, Brave the Storm, and then Strife, and then the third track, I was just getting more excited, thinking, what is this album going to provide me? What is it going to give to me? This is one of my personal favorite bands of all time. Seeing them live in 2008 really pulled me in officially, but before that I was already hooked. But 2008's live show, man, but this album, I was just so excited for. What can they bring to the table? They've done so many different things. They've ventured out and did some different stuff here and there on different releases, and they've basically, made their stand as a band. What can they provide on a new release? What can they give something new? Is there something new they can give? And I'll have to say, guys, man, there's so many interesting stuff throughout this record. There's so much to talk about. I'm just going to start talking about the songs. Let's just go to the songs. I mean, just gotta start talking about them. Brave the Storm opens the album, though. I will say that. We all know that song, but it was interesting as an opener. It really just kind of set the vibe, but it doesn't really give you exactly what this album is going to throw at you. It's not going to give you exactly everything, so listen to the entire album. You just don't know what's going to happen next. Vengeance Falls, the title track, which is the second track, really just kind of feels like a song that you would hear maybe off of Ascendancy, maybe The Crusade, maybe In Waves, I'm not sure, but it just felt like one of those very groovy type tracks, and I really enjoyed the guitar work throughout that track, and also Matt's vocals. Really, really good track. Strife, we heard that song. No Way to Heal, which is the third track they released a couple days before the album is finally upon us. To Believe was an interesting track as well. I really enjoyed that. It was really a very interesting track to listen to. Now, At the End of This War is a really good track. That track really stood out to me with the musical components of the guitar work and also Matt's vocal work. The drumming was really interesting to listen to. The bass was clearly heard throughout that track. So that was just really awesome. Now, Villainy Thrives, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it, which is track 8. That song, that opening, had this really interesting bass part. Really, really interesting bass part at the beginning to really go along with the guitar work that really stood out as a bass moment. I'm like, yes, that is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. That bass work, that's what I've been wanting, because ever since I've heard all these bass parts from Paolo in past records, I've been wanting him to do some bass moments, and we're about to get to a really interesting bass part, but just hearing that opening, very, very good. Incineration, the Broken Roll. This is where things really got exciting. Before this, there was a lot of interesting parts. There was an acoustic part opening up a track, and there was just a bunch of interesting parts from all 4 band members. But Incineration, the Broken World has some amazing guitar solo work from Matt Heafy and from Corey as well. But also, this is where Paolo gets to shine even more. This is where the actual bass solo comes into play. This is where we get to see the amazingness of Paolo on his bass. We get to hear some tapping through that bass solo. Just the opening note that he hits, he has to use some kind of effect to get that really interesting low sound that he went for opening this solo. But man, it was just, that track just had so much going on in it, and it was just so exciting to just repeat the song and just keep listening to everything that's happening, and basically every song. Now, Wake, The End Is Nigh is very interesting because Matt's vocals go into a very low. He goes very low, like low that he's not really done before, and listening to it, I had to repeat him singing basically almost by himself to an extent, and nothing really else backing him up too much except a little bit of guitar. But man, it was just interesting, but some people might say, well, it doesn't sound that good, and for me, I liked it. I liked the fact that he's trying something a little bit different with his vocals. I like how he's doing that, but it was interesting, but definitely an amazing ending. It fades off, and then we get to the bonus tracks, which is on the deluxe edition. But I will have to say, No Hope for the Human Race, As I'm Exploding, which are original tracks, very great tracks. As I Am Exploding, track 12, which is on the deluxe version, is definitely a very heavy-hitting track. No Hope for the Human Race definitely sounded like Ascendancy. It's something from Ascendancy, the album. Skulls, We Are the 138 Misfits cover, definitely at the beginning of the cover sounds very light compared to the rest of this album, so, but of course it's a cover, but it definitely does heavy up a little bit, so I enjoyed that cover as well. But overall, if you get the regular, the 10 tracks, or if you get the deluxe edition, I think you'll enjoy it either way. I do recommend, though, getting the deluxe edition, because it really gives you 2 extra bonus tracks and a cover that's really good. So, but man, these tracks, they're so amazing. I just can't say that enough. It just sounds amazing. The production is just amazing. We'll get to that when we talk about the band. Let's just do that now. But man, I can't just give enough about every little thing about this, and we'll explain more as we get to the sound of the band. Matt Heafy, let's talk about his vocal performance. His singing is very Matt Heafy-ish, Trivium-ish. Now, this is the thing, I didn't mention this to other reviewers that I wasn't going to bring this up, but I'm going to, because there's a lot of talk about how the sound of his vocal style and some of the musical parts sounds like Disturbed, because David from Disturbed, the vocalist from Disturbed, and Device now is producing, and he got involved in all this stuff. And here's the thing, I'm about to say, Matt Heafy's vocals throughout this album, you could say there's some similarities, but for me personally, as a fan of Trivium, and as a fan of Disturbed, but more of a fan of Trivium, this vocal style is Trivium. It's Matt Heafy. It's him. It's him doing what's... If he wants to claim that he has some... he was inspired by David, then fine. But I'm saying it sounds like Matt. It's Matt. It is Matt. And I love his vocals. I love the lyrical content he had. His screams, his low and high screams are very powerful, and they're in your face, and they're perfect for whatever moment they're in. But there is more singing than usual on this album now. People are like that from the singing wise, but definitely I enjoy the singing parts and the screaming parts. And when he got to that low part at the beginning of Wake, the last track, like I said, it depends on how you feel about it, but I enjoy the fact that he was going really low with his notes. So, but definitely now, his vocal work, like I said, very, very good. Really enjoyable. Corey and Matt on guitars. The rhythm parts are very tight and aggressive, and the guitar tone they picked, which if you've heard any of the tracks, is throughout the record, but the rhythm playing is very tight and very aggressive and very in your face, and it fits right along with all the melodies and the guitar solo work, whether it's Matt or it's Corey doing it. But the solo work, the lead playing part, are amazing, and the melodies too. They're so exciting, and they're so aggressive, and it makes you just get pumped up. Because before I actually heard this record, before I heard this album, I was in a very bad state in my mind. But the musical quality of the vocal work and the drums and bass, which we haven't got to yet, and the guitars, rhythm and lead and melodies and everything, made me feel pumped up, made me get out of this funk in my head, and got me to going, yes, Trivium, this is what I want. I kept playing certain sections or repeating full songs, whatever the case may be. I was in love with this album, and it really turned me around. So, but like I said, the guitar work, man, aggressive rhythm, wow. Lead playing, wow. Melodies, wow. This band just doesn't stop surprising me. They don't stop surprising me because they're so good at what they do. Let's go into Paolo on the bass. Like I mentioned, those bass parts, the bass solo and the sections where he is obviously heard throughout the drums, the vocals, and guitars, or just guitars and drums. But man, Paolo's bass sound is so great, and I'm so glad that he had moments throughout this album where he was shining and doing his own thing and playing something a little bit different to really add something to this thing here or something here. But definitely praise to Paolo, man. It was just great, great stuff there. So Nick, basically not the new drummer anymore, but he's been around since In Waves. Definitely amazing drum work. The drums sound amazing. They fit right along with the rest of the band. The guitar sound, the vocals, the bass, the drums sound great with all that. And Nick did amazing drum fills. He did an amazing parts throughout this record, and he just did a very good job with whatever the band's playing, whatever at whatever level they're at with their guitar playing, bass playing, or whatever the case may be, he is playing right along in that same level. He's not doing something too crazy on sections that don't need it, or he's not playing, you know, very soft stuff while the rest is going crazy. He is right along with them. It sounds great. Overall, the sound of the band is just beautiful. I am in love with the sound of the band. I'm in love with what they did on this album. I'm in love with all the songs on this album. I'm in love with everything about this album. So that begs the question, is it a 10 out of 10? Yes, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. I cannot stop loving this. This album is just so appealing to me as a Trivium fan and to me as a fan of music. So it's a 10 out of 10 for me. Every little thing that they did to maybe add something here, or switch this up a little bit here, or make this riff sound a little bit different there, or adding a solo, or adding a bass solo, drums, vocal work, whatever they decided to do just fit so well with these songs and with this whole entire album. So Trivium, you have a masterpiece on your hands. 10 out of 10. I'm in love. Thank you guys so much for creating this album. If you guys see this, I don't think you will, but man, just so much impressive musicianship from all four of you guys. So, like I said, 10 out of 10. So, that's my review, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Comment down below and let me know what's your favorite track on this album. And overall, what do you think? Is this album worth a 10 out of 10? Do you think it's not? Let me know in the comment section. So that's my review, guys. 10 out of 10, like I said. If you liked the video, like the video. And if you like me and you want to see more, subscribe or click my name to see more. Thank you guys for watching. See ya.